Game number 81 is in the books. And this one was a battle of the tanks. Knicks down in the nation's capital taking on a Washington Wizards team that was without Bradley Beal, without Kristaps Porzingis, without Kyle Kuzma, KCP. And there was a lot of lottery implications on this game. Knicks could have moved from anywhere between 9th and 12th, depending on a win or loss. And the way this game started out, you thought the Knicks were going to be in trouble because they weren't knocking down their shots. And Washington was clicking on all cylinders, man. But just about the second quarter, things started to change. What changed? Obi Toppin lit this game on fire. Career high 35 points. A full team effort, and the Knicks would turn this thing around in a major way. Knicks win big, 114-92. Range of emotions out of this game, but we gotta start with Obi Toppin because he was unstoppable in this game. Career high 35 points, 14 from 22 from the field, 6 of 9 from downtown. I put a tweet out on Twitter. I said he went from chucking UFOs early in the year to being a splash brother because Obi has been hot from downtown since being inserted into the starting lineup, shooting 40% from 3 in his last 10 games. You gotta like the way he gets out, finds that mismatch in the post, seals off the little guy, gets an easy lay-in or a dunk. Once again, cementing himself as a starter on this team and gonna force the front office's hand or the coach's hand. Decisions have to be made. You saw Macri came on the show yesterday. We talked about it. Decisions have to be made. It's either you're gonna play Obi and Julius together for significant minutes, or one or the other has to go for the betterment of the team. It cannot be both going into year 3. If the coach doesn't believe that the two can coexist on the court, and maybe it's Julius's defensive efficiencies that he's worried about, because we've seen it on display this year. But the decision has to be made. You are wasting time playing this kid 12, 15 minutes a night. Shift over. Biggest concern was RJ. You know, RJ went down. Looked like a sprained knee, like a hyperextended knee. Went down on a layup. So that was a bit concerning there to see him exit the game. Clearly, he's not going to finish the season. Doesn't make sense to shut him down. And I think, I don't think it's anything structural or anything major. But we'll see. Second game ball, got to go to my guy IQ, man. 23 points, 10 dimes, 9 of 18 from the field, 4 of 9 from downtown. I made a joke on Twitter. I said, when IQ sees Neto, he takes it personal, man. He was schooling the Wizards out there tonight. And again, you know, when we do a season debrief and review the season, why wasn't this guy starting when the whole Kemba fiasco was going on? Emmanuel quickly should have been starting. Look at the progress that he's made over this year. You want to tell me he's not a point guard, he's not this, he's not that? He's good for what we need right now. And boom, 10 dimes tonight. I still don't know to this day why Alec Burks is still the starting point guard of the Knicks for meaningless games. Why not see what we have going forward? Why not evaluate things? We are at a critical offseason where we have to decide if we're going to go out and get a point guard or if we're okay with what we have right now. This should have been done since the trade deadline. Since they benched Kemba. Forget the trade deadline. Go back to when they benched Kemba. Those of you that are with the tank theatrics, Knicks are on the 11th right now in the Tankathon standings. You know, they have a chance, or at least they had a chance, to move all the way up to 9th. You get up to 9th, you get a 20% chance of cracking the top 4. You in 11th, you have a 9% chance. Now, it's not to say that, again, A lottery is luck. Draft is a lot of luck. It's not to say that it's a death sentence where they end up, but obviously you want to try to be closer to the top. The win comes with some opportunity cost there. Obviously, you like the signs that you saw from this team, but in the grand scheme of things, you're going to be looking at the 11th to 12th pick.
Honestly, I know people are mad because we could have gotten a better pick if we lost.
Yeah.
But look, if anything, it's gonna give Tibbs a better gauge. We already all saw it. IQ and Obi have great connection. I've been preaching these two guys since the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And I know IQ is in a slump, and people are like, "We got to trade him." And I defended this man. And it's panning out well.
Sure.
So the thing is, what I'm worried about when we make this draft pick, at what position that we draft at, because we have Deuce, Grimes, and Cam loaded up already, and then you throw in, because if we want to draft a point guard, that forces IQ onto the bench. And I know people like IQ coming off the bench, but I just want to make it clear for everybody. When IQ plays with RJ or Obi, it turns into great production because IQ is that second guy. IQ is the second guy, so he doesn't look for his shot first. He looks for his shot second, finding RJ and Obi first. Now, when you push him to the bench, you now put him in that first option position. IQ doesn't produce well in that first option position, which we've seen over the course of the season. And so it's about maximizing your players. It's about maximizing the potential and seeing where you could build off, which is my only concern for this pick of where we go and how we do it. Because I personally want IQ at that starting position 1. IQ, RJ, Obi. Crazy big three offensively.
Listen, Julius Randle, he has to go. This is coming from somebody that supported him his first season, even though it was a stinker. Second season, we all know what he did. He became the king of New York, basically, and whatnot. This season, I tried to support him as well. I wanted him to turn it around just so he could help the team. He kind of did it in terms of his play a little bit. He was averaging, 25, 10, and 5, was shooting 41% from the field, 30% from the 3. That's a stinker, but still, overall, some solid numbers, right? But the antics, right? The thumbs down, the not picking up your teammates when they're down, not showing up for post-game press conferences, letting a 21-year-old RJ handle the pressure of that, not dapping up fans, like when they're giving you their hands, like when you're coming out of the tunnel, when every player is doing so. That's the type of stuff that, gets a fan base to turn on you. And like I said, he was the king of New York. He had it all. He could have had more. And he decided to throw it all away with his behavior. So it's not even the play. It's just the behavior. He has to go. And listen, I'm going to put it this way. Evan Fournier, early in the season when he was playing like crap, he got the smoke from the fans. Alec Burks, he's gotten the smoke from the fans. When Carmelo was here, he got the smoke from the fans. Amari got the smoke. You name it. These guys have gotten the smoke. But you know what they never did? They never went against the fans. I know the fan base might decide to, take him back, I guess. But if not, he just has to go. And listen, Obi Toppin, at the end of the day, to me, he has the more upside because, 1, he's younger. 2, he's improving. We're seeing it with the minutes he got as a starter late this season. And 3, it's just he's going to be less money at the end of the day. So you're going to have to keep Obi. I would go with Obi.